Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care. Listen, all you New Yorkers.
Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
But right now, let's get into this. We are in a rolling breaking news environment, folks. If you're listening to talk shows or watching TV news shows right now where they immediately just start talking to people who don't really know about what the operations in an operational hot war is, you're wasting your time. But I've decided to remedy that problem. Joining us right now on the phone, Colonel Rob Maness, retired U.S. Air Force, a man who has extensive experience in these kinds of theaters and these kinds of situations. And Colonel, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, give me what your assessment is right now. How has this been going from your standpoint, from what you've been able to observe? I guess we're in day 4 or day 5 of Operation Epic Fury.
I think it's going exceptionally well based on the evidence. It's as clear as the nose on an objective person's face. So look, we spent the first 48 hours taking down the integrated air defense system, destroying their command, control, and communications, and hitting the leadership targets and decapitating the regime. That's what you do in the first phase of an air and naval campaign. I forgot to mention, destroyed their Navy fleet, and we just had the first torpedo shot from a American attack submarine since World War II that sunk one of their most modern ships out about 1,100 miles off of Sri Lanka there, which is, or by Sri Lanka, which is about 1,100 miles from Diego Garcia, where that ship could have easily been going to try to attack the airbase there. So, and other activities that we have going on there that are critical to this operation. So from that perspective, it's going very well. And how do I know that? Well, I know that because we are now putting B-52s with loads of JDAMs and B-1 bombers. Neither one are stealthy bombers, and they're high-value assets deep into Iranian territory to go after the ballistic missile production and storage and launch creation capabilities. And those targets are very far away from any nations that would be a threat. So we're putting those assets in, and they are not stealthy assets. So there is no integrated air defense system. There's no command and control of communications. They're not even shooting artillery rounds, anti-aircraft artillery rounds up at these aircraft because they can't do it. And their leadership had to admit that their military units are on last stand orders because they have no communications with them when they had to admit that when they had to apologize for sending missiles and drones at the Gulf Arab states and the other Arab states in the area. So they're firing indiscriminately at pre-planned targets, which are civilian targets, intentionally targeting civilians. So that's the situation the Iranians are in today, and we continue to range this airspace and range this battlefield. They no longer have a Navy fleet. I haven't seen any of these so-called hypersonic anti-ship missiles yet. Where are they? I think that maybe they've been destroyed or at least damaged to the point where it's going to take them a while to get them out because we haven't seen any of those. As each day has gone by, there have been less and less drone and ballistic missile firings. Now, they are trying to fire on things like energy targets. I just heard some reporting about an energy target that they fired towards Turkey, fired missiles towards Turkey, that it's an energy supply that goes into Israel. So they are still trying, but they are in really, really bad shape. And the news of this Kurdish effort, it could be anything. It could be the northern Iranian Kurdish party, the KDPI, which are nationalists too. They're kind of center left and everything. They're not Marxists, as I was accused of supporting Marxists when I said, hey, it's a good idea. The Kurds are good fighters. Well, that group may be trying to link up with the other resistance groups that have been in the country for a long time that have been active, but they don't have that many people or arms. It would be good to see all these groups linked up together and start working together. And it'd be great if the Peshmerga, Northern Iraqi Kurds were involved, because they're exceptional fighters and very well equipped and very nationalist too. But I haven't seen any direct evidence, like you said. I mean, I've seen the reporting on Fox and stuff like that, but I haven't seen any direct evidence on it. But I fully support it. I mean, that's the kind of boots you need. That's the kind of boots you need, is Iranian boots backed up by some group like Kurds who are probably relatives with some of the Iranian Kurds.
That's right.
I mean, that's the kind of groups and unity you need in order to overthrow the IRGC. The other thing that would be great about that is the IRGC ground forces are going to try to mass and attack that force. And maybe that's the idea, is to pull them out into the open so they'll mass, and we will just obliterate them with our precision-guided munitions dispensers that are intended to go after tanks and armored personnel carriers and trucks and people. We will just it would obliterate those guys.
Come out wherever you are. You're listening to Colonel Rob Maness here. You're listening to Colonel Rob Maness here on the Stones, and we're going to take a break in a second. But I just want to, for those of you who live in urban settings, I just want to give you a metaphor to help you understand what I thought was one of the most important things the Colonel just said about how we're now rolling out the B-52s. They don't have stealth capacity if they cannot fly over a country where there's a decent amount of anti-aircraft facilities still available. So it's kind of like putting back the fur coats on and turning around those diamond rings because now you're in a good neighborhood. That's kind of what's going on here. That's my best analogy. For those of you who grew up in New York in the 70s and 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.